In the late 1700s, America had a big problem. Its merchant ships, sailing the world's oceans, were easy targets. Pirates and hostile navies saw them as little more than floating treasure chests. The young United States had no real navy to protect its interests, leaving its sailors and cargo vulnerable. Something had to change. In response, Congress took a bold step. They passed the Naval Act of 1794, authorizing the construction of 6 powerful new warships. These weren't going to be ordinary ships. The plan was to build a new class of frigate, one that was faster than the massive, heavily armed ships of the line, but stronger than any other frigate on the seas. They were designed to fight when they had the advantage and outrun any enemy they couldn't beat. Out of this ambitious plan, one legendary ship would be born, the USS Constitution. Her construction began in Boston at the shipyard of Edmund Hart. The brilliant naval architect Joshua Humphreys was the mind behind her design, focusing on 3 key principles: strength, speed, and durability. When it came time to name this new vessel, President George Washington himself made the choice. He named her Constitution, a powerful tribute to the founding document of the new nation. From the very start, Constitution was built to be different. Her hull was crafted from live oak, one of the densest and hardest woods in North America, sourced from the coastal islands of Georgia. The timbers were incredibly thick, measuring over 21 inches in some places. This gave her a level of strength that European shipbuilders could barely imagine. To make her even tougher, the hull was reinforced with heavy iron bolts and a revolutionary system of diagonal bracing, which helped her resist the twisting forces of heavy seas and the brutal impact of cannon fire. When the USS Constitution was finally launched on October 21, 1797, she was already one of a kind, a true super frigate. She officially entered service the following year, sailing into a world where America was still finding its footing on the global stage. Her first missions were crucial. She protected American merchant ships during the quasi-war with France, an undeclared naval conflict fought in the Caribbean. Soon after, she was dispatched to the Mediterranean to confront the Barbary pirates, who had been demanding tribute from American vessels for years. These early campaigns were more than just naval operations. They were a statement. The USS Constitution helped project American power across the ocean for the first time, proving that the United States Navy was no longer just an idea on paper. It was a real, credible force. But the defining chapter of her story was yet to come. The War of 1812 would etch the USS Constitution's name into history forever. At the time, Britain's Royal Navy was the undisputed master of the seas. Its fleet was enormous. Its sailors were battle-hardened, and many believed that the small American Navy stood no chance against such a giant. That belief was shattered on August 19, 1812, off the coast of Nova Scotia. Constitution, under the command of Captain Isaac Hull, engaged the British frigate HMS Guerriere. The 2 ships circled each other, unleashing devastating broadsides. But as British cannonballs slammed into Constitution's thick oak hull, something incredible happened. They bounced off. The wood was so dense and the construction so solid that the enemy's shots simply could not penetrate her sides. Astonished, an American sailor reportedly cried out, "Huzzah! Her sides are made of iron." And in that moment, a legend was born. From that day forward, the USS Constitution would be known by her immortal nickname, Old Ironsides. The battle ended with a decisive American victory. HMS Guerriere was left dismasted and burning, a wreck that had to be scuttled. Constitution, meanwhile, sailed away with minimal damage, and her crew filled with a newfound sense of invincibility. This was no lucky shot. Old Ironsides went on to achieve more stunning victories, defeating other British warships like HMS Java. These triumphs sent shockwaves across the Atlantic. The mighty Royal Navy had been humbled, and American morale soared. The victories were more than just strategic. They were symbolic. They proved that the United States could stand toe-to-toe with the greatest of naval power on Earth. Old Ironsides became a floating symbol of American grit and national pride. A powerful reminder that the young nation was not as fragile as its enemies believed. As the age of sail gave way to the age of steam, Constitution's role evolved. She continued to serve her country, training generations of sailors and representing American naval power on goodwill tours around the world. During the Civil War, she served as a training ship for the U.S. Naval Academy. By the late 19th century, her fighting days were over. Wooden sailing ships were obsolete, replaced by ironclad steam-powered vessels. But a ship this important could never be forgotten. Several times throughout her long life, Old Ironsides faced the threat of being scrapped. Each time, the American people rallied to save her. Public outcry, fueled by passionate poems, newspaper campaigns, and even pennies collected by schoolchildren, ensured her survival. She underwent major restorations in the early 20th century, which allowed her to tour the country's ports, giving millions of Americans the chance to see this living piece of history for themselves. Each restoration wasn't just about preserving a relic, it was about keeping a legend alive. Today, the USS Constitution is berthed in the Charlestown Navy Yard in Boston. She is the oldest commissioned warship in the world still afloat. She has an active-duty Navy crew who proudly wear 19th-century-style uniforms. She fires ceremonial cannon salutes and, on special occasions, she still sails the harbor under her own power, a majestic sight to behold. Just a few steps away, the USS Constitution Museum works tirelessly to preserve her story and educate new generations about her incredible legacy. The USS Constitution is so much more than just wood, iron, and canvas. She is a symbol of American resilience, innovation, and the will to survive. She outlasted the empires that were once her enemies. She endured the chaos of war and the relentless passage of time. More than 225 years after her launch, Old Ironsides still stands proud, a powerful reminder that some legends don't just fade away. They sail on. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more tidbits of time.